Should you consider going to music college in 2021? So if you're a young, aspiring, driven musician, if you've gotten bit by the music bug, you're probably kind of feeling like you want to really take your playing and your art to the next level, and one of the biggest things that's going to help you get there is going to music school. Obviously makes sense, and chances are you've probably picked out a school or two that you have in mind that would be, your dream school and a fantastic place to go to. Unfortunately, there's the reality of higher education in America in 2021, where tuition costs, even at state schools, are ballooning, and private universities and schools are just completely out of control. So a little background about myself. I went to Berklee College of Music from 2005 to 2009, and I graduated with a bachelor's degree in guitar performance, which is basically a piece of paper that says I'm supposed to be pretty good at guitar, I guess. Right after I graduated, I moved back to my hometown, Philadelphia, and I've been lucky enough to make basically all of my income in music since then. But it hasn't been easy. It's actually been crazy hard. There's a whole bunch of things I didn't know that I was gonna have to worry about with taxes and healthcare and all sorts of other grown-up stuff that, to be perfectly frank, an 18, 19, 20-year-old just doesn't care about. I know it didn't matter to me. I was, singularly focused on my dream and my goal of becoming a professional guitar player. So I understand tunnel vision that you might be having. So as much as I loved going to Berklee, and it was an incredible experience, and I met loads of amazing musicians, I studied with great teachers, and I absolutely do not regret my time there, it did put a severe financial burden on me. I didn't get a scholarship. I got a little teeny one at the very end of my time there. So by the time I was out, it was over $35,000 a year. So you can do the math, just times that by 4, and that gives you a good idea of how much it's gonna cost. Now, as much as I love my school, at that kind of price, I really can't recommend it. I honestly, as amazing of a school as it is, I'm just not sure you're ever gonna get that kind of value back out of it. Most musicians that I know are lucky to make $40,000 or $50,000 a year. People who are doing that are extremely successful. So you're looking at burying yourself in borderline like lawyer or doctor school amount of undergrad debt to basically just be middle class, and good luck paying that back. There's the other problem that I didn't realize when I was young, is that once you're out, you're probably gonna be 1099'd, or basically what that means is you're an independent contractor. That means that you're responsible for the self-employment tax, which covers the other half of Medicare and Medicaid that your employer, if you had a normal job, would be covering. For me, usually the self-employment tax is way larger than my state tax that I owe, so it basically doubles the federal bill. There's also the problem of being an independent contractor. It means you probably aren't going to get benefits, so you're going to have to get your own healthcare plan. Thanks to GOP efforts, Obamacare has been pretty much gutted, and getting an affordable healthcare plan on the market is really hard right now. So now that we're about halfway through this video, if you dig it, please hit like and subscribe. Here on A Minor Error, this is the home for everything that I do sort of musically. I'm primarily an instrumental progressive metal guitar player. I write, record, and release my own music right here on my channel. It's also on Spotify and iTunes. I also create product reviews, tip videos like this one's, and free music lessons. So those are the categories that I cover. If you're digging it, again, please hit like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below, especially if you have any questions about my time at Berklee, or what school that you're considering, kind of where you're at. So now that the doom and gloom is out of the way, I'll talk about why you should still probably consider going to music school. The first thing is you don't need to go to a fancy private university like Berklee. I've been lucky enough to play with a whole bunch of talented musicians who studied at state schools right here in Pennsylvania, and they got a fantastic education. When it came to their basic ear training skill and their basic theory knowledge, they were no worse trained than I was after going to Berklee. Now, you might not be able to necessarily study with Joe Stump like I did and learned all these Yngwie style kind of licks, But you know what? There's loads of instructional videos you can get, there's loads of content online, and you could even just sign up and take video lessons with Joe. So, you know, there's other options there for you. So if your musicianship is kind of where mine was at the end of high school, where I had big gaps in my theory, my ear training wasn't very good, I would definitely recommend going to a music college. But again, considering like a state school instead to keep the cost down. Now, if you're talented enough, Berklee and all other schools will offer scholarships. So, you know, you can always go try your luck with a scholarship. If you can get the price down to closer to what I paid at Berklee, I would recommend going there. I mean, if you can be going for around $20,000 to $30,000 a year, yeah, definitely do it. You're gonna get a unrivaled education. Berklee was definitely ahead of the curve when it came to laptops and recording software and all the other technology stuff, and they've just gotten better since then. So, you know, if you're able to get some sort of a partial scholarship and drive that price down, yeah, then it's a no-brainer. Go. Boston is a great town. It's a ton of fun. You're going to meet a load of really cool musicians that you'll probably make relationships with that will last the duration of your career. So that basically sums it up. I think higher education in America in general is just so overpriced, and I would really recommend try to find a school where you're not going to bury yourself in debt. If you're looking at close to $100,000 in debt at a school, you might want to look somewhere else. You know, like I said, chances are you're going to end up being an independent contractor, whether you're teaching, maybe playing in a cover band or in a tribute band. You know, those sort of ways of making money are really solid, and there's a lot of opportunities out there, well, at least once the COVID BS ends. So it is definitely possible to make a living in music, but it does take extra drive, extra determination, and it takes a little bit of that entrepreneurial kind of spirit to kind of stick your neck out there and, you know, kind of do your best and see where things go.